Hello, thanks for watching this video on UrbanCode Deploy. Today we'll be working with an application in our UrbanCode Deploy called Plants by WebSphere. As you can see, here we have configured a few different environments, the Dev, QA, and Production. This gives you the opportunity to expand and see what you have deployed to its environments. As you can see here, there are different versions. You also have the capability to actually do a compare across the environments and see specifically what is at different versions. In your dev, prod, or your QA. Here we have a different version of the ear, and we're going to be working with that today in our WebSphere deployments. Okay, so to point to an environment, we just choose the button, and we're going to deploy the ear and the WebSphere configuration. We choose the version of what we wish to deploy for each component. We're going to choose to deploy the cluster and the ear file. I select my version that I want to deploy, and I click OK. We have the option to schedule the deployment if you want to set it for a certain time or date, or to make it recurring. In this case, we're going to just go ahead and submit it and watch it run live. As it's running, you're able to actually drill down and see what's running in each step along the way as it executes. Here we see a process that's running. We can drill down and see what's happening under the covers and the process GUI that's available. This has already been configured and it was currently running. I just want to show you a little bit about what you can do in this GUI while we're waiting on the deployment to complete. If you look, for example, here's a Groovy script. You can see what the script is doing. And since we've already included the plugins for WAS, we can see that there are options to drag and drop WebSphere configuration capabilities. If you have some scripting that you may already have that you want to incorporate, here you can drag and drop that as well. Edit it using the pencil icon. You would go in and edit and include what you want to customize. It's a very easy drag and drop with the arrows to add your step into the process. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of that, so we don't want to save it. We're going to keep it as it was. Let's go back and watch how it's running now. As these steps are processing, we're able to go to each one and see the input and output properties. Here, we're going to open the output log, see what happened, see when it completed, and it's all logged for you there. We can see the script is still running to deploy the ear file. They are just completed, so now the application has been started. I can go over and check in my application for Plants by WebSphere, and yes, I see it's currently running. Now that we have completed our deployment for the dev environment, and we know that it has completed successfully, and with the versions that have been tested together, we can create a snapshot for that. We can just name it something like May Demo. And now when we go back and we're ready to deploy to our QA environment, rather than choosing a version, we're going to choose our snapshot that we just created. We're going to go ahead and submit it right away now in the QA environment. We have configured an approval gate. The approval gate that's required that someone is going to manually approve this, so you can't necessarily go to an environment without approval if that's something you wish to implement. You have the ability to implement these checks before promoting from one environment to the next and having an approval required. Then it goes ahead and starts the deployment process as we saw before. Now it's deploying into the QA environment. While we're looking at that, I'll just mention to you a little bit about how we got the plugins in place for the WAS environment that we saw earlier. When you go to the settings, you see plugins. You would just choose Load Plugin, browse and update it with the plugin you want. In this case, we have already included in this environment the WAS Configure Deploy and also WAS Liberty. but there are hundreds of other plugins that you could use with your UrbanCode tools as well. Thank you for watching this video.